A while back, maybe a year or so, a little while back, almost a year back, I was asking myself this one particular question. Why am I a slave to Instagram? This might sound like an odd question, but I was in a period of my artistic career where I was so extremely dependent on Instagram growth, Instagram validation, Instagram likes, where Instagram was too crucial of part of my life. I didn't like the fact that I was so dependent on Instagram. So you might be wondering, cool, you were using the platform of Instagram as a tool. What do you mean by you were slave to Instagram? So I was so dependent on Instagram to the point the art and the type of content that I was making was being determined by Instagram. I came to the realization one day while I was making a very specific illustration. I was having fun with it and I wanted to try something different. Something, an idea that popped into my mind. I wanted to kind of execute it. It was quite out of the box, non conventional, but my mind immediately asked me to stop because for a fact that I knew if I did this particular style of artwork, I knew that I won't get that many likes on Instagram. So everything from me getting a job, um, clients, making artist friends, connections, even the art I made was being influenced by Instagram. Around 1.5 years ago, um, January 2023, I decided to make a bunch of art and not post it on Instagram at all. Maybe I would post bits of it here and there, but 80 to 90 percentage of the art that I made, I won't post it on Instagram. And I wouldn't make it for Instagram. I would make it for a medium that I was more passionate about. So that particular medium was comics. Okay, so I know that comics do really well on Instagram. What I mean is those short slice of life kind of comics, specifically made and curated for the medium and format of Instagram. But I did not want to make a comic like that. I wanted to make a comic that was catered for physical books. And the fact that I was being so influenced and chained and restricted by Instagram, I wanted to get out of that. And it also helps that I had a lot of incentive to do this project. So, this is what I did. I decided to spend 3 to 6 months traveling and making art, and very specific art that I would never post on Instagram. Again, I would be posting bits here and there just so that my account doesn't die. But most of the art I decided to make would never see the light of Instagram. And doing this genuinely helped me grow better as an artist, explore myself, push myself, try new things, experiment. And it was one of the most artistically rewarding experiences I ever had. And the project that I'm talking about is this one. So you can see the cover of my comic, the first comic, Pen Traveler, the Pen Traveler comic. If you go through my Instagram and search for this, you won't find any content of this comic on Instagram. The only thing you will find is a post of the cover. Making this comic also helped me spiral into participating in real world art events, namely, particularly Indie Comic Fest. Going to events like those, physical real world events, brought back faith in the world of art for me once again. I was not no longer restricted to only Instagram. I was able to exhibit, showcase my artwork to the real world without having to rely on Instagram. I I was able to share my art to a huge audience through these events. And I was also able to make money selling these comics at these events. And this was a game changing moment in my life. No more was I restricted to Instagram. It came to a point where 90 percentage, I won't say 90, maybe around 70-ish percentage of all the artworks I was creating, I never posted on Instagram. Funny, right? So I was no longer restricted to Instagram. I didn't need to please the Instagram algorithm. I didn't need to please my Instagram followers. I could just please myself, do what I want, and still be happy with the art I made. So after this and the success of Pen Traveler comic, I went ahead and made a second comic. So after Pen Traveler, I started making more comics. So after that, I made this one, Space Shy, and then I made Threshold of Rupture, and finally this one, Not a Comic. So the beauty of making these works that never saw the light of Instagram, is that these work feel more important, more exclusive, and it's not as discardable as Instagram art. So why do I say that Instagram art is discardable? What I specifically mean by that is, I'll give you a small story. I was talking to one of my artist friends. Yeah, it was long back. So I was talking to him. He's the type of guy who would go to a lot of events and sell his art prints. This one customer who showed up to his stall, and he looked at his art. He admired it. He was about to buy the art, but his friend stopped him, and he told him, "Bro, you don't need to buy this art. You can look at it for free on Instagram." So you get what I mean. You're giving away the exclusivity of your own artwork on Instagram. There's nothing special about a physical version versus digital version of your artwork nowadays, unless you start drawing that line. And this is also the biggest reason why I try my best to keep drawing traditionally. And I would encourage everyone else to do so as well. Because sticking to digital art, as great as it is very limiting. Think about it. You're basically scrolling through multiple Instagram posts for 2-3 seconds each, double tapping, scrolling, maybe commenting something. So, if you are doing that with other artworks, I'm sure most people who see your artwork do the same. It might give you a lot of likes, a lot of comments, but that's about it. As an artist, I want more than that. I want the audience and the readers to connect with my artwork, not just quickly glance at it. Oh, cool, swipe. I want them to feel the emotions that I'm trying to convey, the story that I'm trying to say. That's why I want to make art that is exclusive and not be limited to Instagram. So, yeah, that's about it. This is how I started breaking the chains of restriction that Instagram was tying me into. And this is what I would encourage a lot of people to do if you're suffering or struggling with something similar to this. And start trying to connect with your audience. Try find the purpose of your art. Is it just to make cool stuff, visually appealing cool stuff, or do you want something more? Think about it, reflect on it, and hopefully you will find your answer. This is what worked for me, and I love what I do now. um, Even stuff like these are t-shirts made by myself, and I'm not making these t-shirts to sell them. It's just for me. I wear them. It's my own fashion. So And even this kind of t-shirt that I wear tells a story. I want my art to be more than something that is just visually stunning. I want it to be more exclusive. I don't want it to be easily accessible. So that's about it, guys. So hope you enjoy this video. Hope you find some sort of value in this. And see you next time. Great video, bro.